Bismillah. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. I'd like to welcome everybody, and inshallah we will, as with anything.
Okay, so let me just make sure everything is set and can I call you back?
We will start with the kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself mentions in the Quran, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ مِنَ اللَّهِ قِيلًا, and whose speech is better than the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we will commence with the recitation of the Quran by one of our first year students, Brother Shihab.
No, because we have go live. No, you have to go listen, go join the YouTube channel and see how the sound is.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجان من مارج من نار فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان صدق الله العظيم.
Sorry. So we're slowly waiting on our inviting us to come in, inshallah. And in the meantime, inshallah, we will, we're just trying to get the cameras up and running, inshallah, so we can have the live stream happening in the masjid at the same time, inshallah. Before we start, we are going to hopefully share some poetry written by one of our students. So I would like to call Bilal from second year, so he can come and share a few words with us, inshallah. Written by one of our students. So I would like to call Bilal from second year, so he can come and share a few words with us. Yeah, to the wall. No, I don't have to see what that is.
رويدكم أهل العلم رويدا رويدكم أهل العلم رويدا منحتم لنا اليوم شديدا فراقكم يوم الخروج طالا أنار قفلكم في الفؤاد سديدا عباد الله مصلح وها يوسف وحنظل مره صار ثريدا وجبل النعمان أمن ذكراه كحارس حصن الدين فريدا وطلعة في الزمان طلحة وطلعة في الزمان طلحة وطلعة في الزمان طلحة أنار قفلكم في الفؤاد سديدا وإنما لهذا الرهط زبور في علمه وحيدا وطلعة في الزمان طلحة صفاهم الرحمن من الكدر عبيدا فأكرم الله قوما هم فيه سيادهم في العالمين رشيدا.
One of our second year students, he wrote the poetry himself about the relationship that he has and the pain that he feels on the departure of our beloved graduates. We would like to welcome our guests, and first and foremost, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing us to be here with everything that is going on. We've tried our best to arrange for this in this difficult time that we're facing with everything that's going on. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to overlook our shortcomings and to accept this from us. And we wanted to send off our beloved students in a manner that is befitting and deserving of them. But we know with everything that is happening, we may not have been able to achieve that, so we ask them as well to forgive us. And in this time, our respected, honored guests for coming, despite everything that's going on, to see our beautiful students going on into the next chapter of their lives. A moment that hopefully when we look back at this time, it'll be a memory that when we look back on, we will smile. And it marks the beginning of a new journey. We pray for these graduates and we ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses them for the sake of Deen, utilizes them in ways that they never imagined, and they become a means of guidance for all of mankind. And as I mentioned, in this difficult time, it's hard to get individuals who are willing to speak and share their wisdom with us. But Alhamdulillah, today we have with us Mufti Abdul Rahman from Detroit, Michigan, and he was gracious enough to accept our invitation despite the circumstances and despite his extremely busy schedule. He told me, and it's his humbleness, that he said to me, whose idea was this, Maulana, to invite me? I am not worthy. But I told him that the students here, they have a connection with you and they would love to hear some words from you. And despite the loss that him and his family suffered of their youngest brother, despite that, who is a shaheed, we ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mercy on him. Many of us were moved by the event that took place not too long ago. And despite that, he is here. And it's something that, I've reached out to him and he had so many messages after the incident occurred. I asked him, said, how are you doing? He said to me that it's not something that we can ever get over, but it's something that eventually we learn to deal with. Losing a loved one, you don't get over it. You never get over it. You just learn to cope. You learn to deal with the loss, but you don't ever truly get over it. So for him, with these extenuating circumstances, for him to come here, we ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses him and his family. And this sacrifice that he made coming all this way to be a part of this event. And just a brief bio about Mufti Saab. Mufti Abdul Rahman was born and raised in Lansing, Michigan. As a youth, he displayed his interest and enthusiasm to involve himself in the religious studies. At the age of 9 years old, Mufti Saab went to Toronto, Canada, to pursue his dreams of becoming a hafiz of the Holy Quran. Within a year, he completed the memorization of the Quran. And he was known to be from the most intelligent students. He excelled in every possible way. And he carried on and he continued his 7-year Alim course program. He studied various subjects, hadith, tafsir, logic, rhetoric, finishing all of that by the age of 18. After that, Mufti Saab traveled to Pakistan, where he did a 2-year course of Ifta in Karachi. After which he also spent a year in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, spreading the knowledge that he had gained over the course of those years. He's known for his passion and dedication to teaching the lost history of Islam and insight on how Muslims lived throughout the different eras of history. He's a founder and one of the key members of Miftah Institute. Many of us know the work that they are doing. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses them and allows them to flourish and use them as well for the sake of Deen. This is all a fraternity. It doesn't matter, Hasanain, Darul Salam, Miftah, we're all one family. Every single one of us. And to have our brother here and share a few words, I now call upon Mufti Abdul Rahman to share his wisdom with us. Bismillah.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم لا تؤاخذني بما يقولون واغفر لي بما لا يعلمون واجعل لي خيرا مما يظنون. آمين. نحن نصلي على رسوله الكريم. أما بعد، قال الله عز وجل في كتابه العزيز وأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. من كان يريد العاجلة عجلنا له فيها ما نشاء لمن نريد ثم جعلنا له جهنم يصلاها مدحورا. ومن أراد الآخرة وسعى لها سعيها وهو مؤمن فأولئك كان سعيهم مشكورا. كل نمد هؤلاء وهؤلاء من عطاء ربك وما كان عطاء ربك محظورا. انظر كيف فضلنا بعضهم على بعض وللآخرة أكبر درجات وأكبر تفضيلا. وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام: قد أفلح من أخلص قلبه للإيمان وجعل قلبه سليما ولسانه صادقا ونفسه مطمئنا وخلقه مستقيما وجعل عينه ناظرا وأذنه مستمعا، أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. But your brothers and elders, your sisters over here, and fellow students, 25 to 26 weeks ago, I had to learn a very important lesson, but a lesson that can only be learned through certain circumstances. So the lesson that was learned by Sahaba early on in their life, and it is indeed the reason why they were successful. And it is also the reason why we are still stooping so low and we're still kicking our feet in the same place, even though we have so much resources, we have everything around, we have all the means necessary to succeed, but we cannot succeed. 25, 26 weeks ago, I was sitting in madrasa after teaching in the morning, and we had a meeting, mashwara. We got done with Dhuhr Salah. My mother calls me and says that I'm calling your brother, Rahim is not picking up my phone. And I said, no problem. The mother calls, it's very normal. I don't pick up my phone anyways. So I didn't think of it as anything. My mother then calls Mr. Wahab and tells him that he's not picking up the phone. Could you please find out where he is? Because they said that he's not teaching, and he's not there today. So Mr. Wahab then starts to develop anxiety and starts saying, you know what, he's always on time teaching. He just taught in the morning in madrasa, he's going to the other school to teach. So there's something wrong. So he gets in his car and he leaves. For some reason, when he gets to the light right outside the madrasa, he takes a right. There's a shower of police officers and fire trucks and ambulances, not even a mile down from the madrasa. Nonetheless, he comes running back. And I don't know how he even managed to drive back because he saw the accident and he was there at the site. He comes back and he's screaming. He says, you know, our brother passed away. And I asked where, and he says, you know, over in common. I said, it's impossible. I was in denial, just like Umar was in denial. 25 miles an hour, it's impossible that someone can pass away at a 25-mile radius, you know, driving. But he's such a good driver. He doesn't use his phone, nothing. So I was in complete denial. Nonetheless, we went to the masjid, started praying salah, as my other brothers were trying to find out what's going on. So, but half an hour later, I was praying salah, and students were behind there reading Quran and crying. And this right here, Sheikh Abdul Aziz, may Allah bless this guy, man. He's very, I wish he came to speak here today. He's better than me when it comes to these situations. He comes in. And this is the beauty of knowledge, is the beauty of this. The Prophet made dua, اللهم اغفر من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معاصيك ومن طاعتك ما تبلغنا به جنتك ومن اليقين ما تهون به علينا مصائب الدنيا. He said, oh Allah, grant me a peace of such fear that grant me a peace, a portion grant me a portion of your khashya, your fear, that will make it easy for me to stay away from sinning. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud says, ليس العلم بكثرة الرواية ولكن العلم الخشية. That, you know, the amount of knowledge is not what knowledge consists of. It is the amount of fear of Allah that you have that makes you a scholar. Abu Hazim al-Madini says that a person is not a knowledgeable person who الذي يعرف أوامر الله ويعرف نواهي الله لكن العالم الذي يعرف أوامر الله فيتبعه ويعرف نواهي الله فيجتنبه. Abu Hazim al-Madini says a person who's a scholar is the one who knows the things that Allah doesn't want him to do and doesn't want him to do, and does those things that Allah wants him to do, and stays away from those things that Allah does not want to do. That's an alim. Not just a person who just knows Allah. That doesn't mean anything. Sufyan Thawri, he says that a person who, an alim is defined by his khashya, and a jahil is defined by a person a person who is content and amazed by his excellence and knowledge, but he doesn't practice upon it. So the Prophet was saying in this dua, oh Allah, give me such khashya that will be a means of me staying away from sinning, and give me such obedience that will make me enter into Jannah, and give me such yaqeen, conviction in you, that will make all the difficulties of this life easy for me. Give me that conviction. When you have that conviction, then it doesn't matter what hits you. Iqbal, he says, said, oh Uqab, do not fear from these blazing winds, these stormy winds. Rather, you should be happy they come towards you, because they only come to go make you go higher and elevate you. So this person who has yaqeen and understands that. I asked this question in many different places. So if I go to any community where there's predominantly Arabs, especially Palestinians, I always ask them this question: what's your opinion about a shaheed? Even the person who has the lowest amount of iman, who's selling the wrong things in stores, he will tell you he's alive. He will not tell you anything different. You'll have no ikhtilaf on this. What is your opinion about a shaheed? Because this was mentioned so much that this yaqeen has developed in your heart that a shaheed is alive. But how about all the different promises of Allah? How about all the different promises of Allah that are also true? So similarly, he says, oh Allah, give me that yaqeen which will make my difficulties easy for me. So that's why ilm and yaqeen together is such a powerful tool. So as I was standing praying salah, my brother comes in, he grabs Mr. Wahab, and he recites that dua. And today I just want to share this, what the message of this dua is. If you understand the message of this dua, you can be successful anywhere in the world. He recites that dua that can only be recited when someone passes away. Inna lillahi wa inna raji'un, you can recite anytime. But this dua you can only recite when someone passes away. Mind you, many of you know he's my youngest brother, he's only 22 years old, just came back as an alim. We're very, very, very close as a family, extremely close. You know, he wears my shoes, I wear his shoes, we wear the same clothes. I mean, everything we wear the same. We don't have anything separate. We don't have our own cars, our own titles, everything we do together. We live in the same house. So when he comes in, he hugs my brother, he says, Inna lillahi ma'akhadh wa lahu ma'ata. The moment he said that, that's when I found out my brother had passed away. Otherwise, before that, I did not know. I was in denial. Verily, everything that Allah takes belongs to Him, and whatever He has left behind also belongs to Him. What Allah took, it belongs to Him. What Allah left behind also belongs to Him. Don't ever be fooled that what I have belongs to me. Nothing belongs to you. Everything belongs to Allah. If we understand this knowledge that we're studying is a means to an objective. It is not the objective itself. It's a means. Yes, means are rewarding in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like wudu is a means of ibadah. So wudu is very rewarding. I don't have too much time to say too much mawad, but when the Prophet was asked, what are these angels arguing about? All those three things that were mentioned were things that were not ibadah. One was sitting in the masjid, waiting for salah. One was walking to the masjid, and one was doing wudu. Three things, but they were not salah. Yes, means are extremely rewarding. That's why the angels put their wings down for us. But never be fooled that the means is the objective. It's not. The means, ilm is a means towards the objective. And today, our teachers, all of us were teachers who have been teaching you, brothers, for all these years, could possibly be telling you all these different objectives. I will say that the most important objective is this. I mean, all of them are important, But this is the most important objective from ilm, from our life. This right here. What is it? Is to understand that I'm not in this world to receive, but to give. I'm not here to receive. I'm here to give. I'm not here in this world to make my life better. I'm here in this world to make other people's lives better. I'm not here in this world to hoard, but to store the treasure of Allah. Wallahi, this is the purpose of our life. And nobody can deny this. وَاخْفِضْ جَنَاحَكَ لِمَنِ اتَّبَعَكَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَاخْفِضْ جَنَاحَكَ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. In our brothers of Tabligh, who alhamdulillah we are actively involved with, always quote the ayah, كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ. The Prophet was asked, who is the best person? He said, the one who benefits people the most is the best person. خَيْرُكُمْ أَنْفَعُكُمْ لِلنَّاسِ. And that is why the Prophet would give so much reward and so much blessings for the one who understood this basic concept that nothing belongs to me, everything belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I'm not here to receive, but I'm here to give. Brothers and students who are sitting here, whatever you have to make intention to give it to others. It's not for you. Now imagine the reward of giving. We talk about, okay, whenever we talk about giving, we talk about sadaqah, we talk about charity, and we understand the reward of this. But the highest degree of giving to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving your life to Him, dedicating your life to Him. That is why a shaheed has the biggest reward. That is why they understand. 3 different times it comes in hadith where a person is stabbed by a dagger. Stabbed, he's about to die. Blood is coming out of from his body. And he's taking his blood and he's wiping it all over his face, and he's saying, Fustu wa Rabbil Kaaba. 3 different times. Abu Milhan, he said this, Ali ibn Abi Talib said this. When Ali ibn Abi Talib was stabbed with a dagger from the back, the first thing he said, Fustu wa Rabbil Kaaba, I'm successful. 100% I'm successful. There was one person after the battle of Yamuna, he was sitting there with his 2 arms cut off and he's smiling. And the person asked him, what are you smiling for? He says, because I gave these 2 arms to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, who are you? I'm Rajul min al-Ansar. I am a person from Ansar. My brothers, my students, my friends, my brother's life taught me this, that life is not worth living if we're not giving it back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are not here to stay. Nothing belongs to us. Everything belongs to Allah. If I give Mawlana Shammas, a hadiyah, I'll give him something to hold for me, amana. I said, Sheikh, hold this $100 bill for me. I'll get it back from you later. And 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, I asked Mawlana Shammas, hey, could you give me the $100 back? I need it now. And he says to me, Sheikh, man, you gave it to me. I have to think about it. But I gave it to him as an amana. I have to think about it. So then I realized that, maybe this guy's not going to budge. So I said to him, Sheikh, just give me $20 back, man. Please, 20. And he said, I'll give you 10. Now that's injustice, because that was not his anyways. To be the birth of da'wah and tabligh, they say, give 4 months. Right, really? 4 months? But this was Allah's time anyways. This was not your time. This was Allah's time. The brothers were asking for donations for schools and institutions. They're asking for that money that doesn't even belong to you. It belongs to Allah. So it's better spent if you give it back to Allah. It's better spent if you give it back to Allah, your time and your wealth. So understanding when Ja'far bin Abi Talib radiallahu anhu was going to in the battle of Muta, and Abdullah bin Umar says, Wallahi, as if I can see him right in front of my eyes. Right in front of my eyes. He has an opportunity, an opening where he can take his horse and go back to Medina Munawwara, but he decides to jump off of his horse and cut the feet of his horse, and he then decides to stay there. And of course he recites the poem, Ya Habbada Jannah wa Iqtirabuha, Tayyibatan wa Baridatan Sharabuha, wa Rumu Qadna Adabuha, Alayna Qitra Adurabuha. He says, Jannah is so close to me. Jannah, this is the purpose of my life. I'm right here, a few steps away from Jannah. Why will I run away from here? Ya nafsu, لتنزلن أو لتكرهن ما لي أراك تكرهين الجنة. Abdullah bin Rawah is saying, when he sees death staring in his eyes, he says to himself, he says, hey man, you better get down off this horse. You better jump right into the battlefield. Why are you worried for? Why do I see that you do not like Jannah? The purpose of our life is to give it all back to Allah. Is to make other people's lives better, not make our life better. And that's what the Prophet ﷺ taught the entire ummah throughout his life. that a generous person with wealth, let me ask you this. A person who's generous, who gives his wealth, is beloved to everybody. You guys know in madrasa, a person who's stingy, khalas. We don't like that kid. We stay away from him. But a generous person, he's close to Allah, he's close to the Prophet ﷺ, he's close to Jannah, and he's close to the people. Because he gives something to benefit others. He's not keeping it to benefit himself. So giving whatever we have, Allah has given us knowledge. Our job is, we all have to make this intention, that I have to dedicate the rest of my life for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. People will ask you, how will you survive? The biggest disease to ulama nowadays, and I grew up here, I graduated from madrasas over here. Some of these brothers know me, is what are you going to do after you graduate? How are you going to survive? How will you eat? How will you sustain yourself? My brothers, our students, wallahi na'udhin, wallahi. Inna al-badalata min al-iman. We could live in a hut, we could walk, we could live the most simple life. That life, we don't need anything. We don't need anything from anyone. Izhad ma fi aydin nas yuhibbuka an-nas. We don't need anything from anyone. Whatever we have, we live with simplicity and we give it for the sake of Allah. Allah will give us honor in this world and hereafter. Allah will honor us. The idea that crosses our minds, Imam Shafi'i said, there's awam that are students, I'm not going to say too much. He says that al-a'malu sayyi'ah, that bad deeds is a disease. And ulama are the cure for this disease. He says, if ulama get plagued with the same disease, then who's going to cure people? Who's going to cure people? If I'm standing here right now, and I don't believe that my entire life, inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alameen. Wallahi, on that Monday night, my father called me all day. Many of you know my father is not home. Called him all day, asking where Abdurrahim is. No response. My older brother picks up the phone, says, Salam Muji, Mubarakho, ab shaheed ke paap. So, congratulations, you're the father of a shaheed. Moment of silence, of course he cried. He called back. When he called back, I wish I could send you the recording. When he called back, the first thing he said was, listen, sons. Anas bin Malik, radiallahu anhu, used to see the Prophet in his dream all the time. So much love for him. Abdullah bin Umar used to see the Prophet in his dream so many times. They had so much love for the Prophet. But they never stopped their efforts. They kept moving. They gained momentum from this difficulty, this tragedy. We are not here to make our dunya better. We are here to make our akhirah better by making other people's akhirah better. Not just ourselves. We're not here for ourselves. And then he said, let me tell you something. One was 49 years old. Man, this man, seriously, the guy's son just passed away. And I'm not saying this is my father, but I don't understand where these people get this from. We've studied knowledge for 12 years, 14 years, and it's difficult to get this. It's because these people went in the streets, villages, door to door, all over the world in the effort of da'wah, that yaqeen develops in their hearts. When my mother first heard, I walked into the house, when my mother first heard, I told my mom, I said, Ameen, when I first walked into the house, I said, Ameen, this is the situation, your son has passed away. The first thing she said, Hey Allah, kisi aur maa ko ye din na dikhana. Before she said anything else. Oh Allah, do not make any other mother go through this. How does someone come to that point where even the lowest point of your life, you're thinking about somebody else? How does that happen? Habibi, in our highest points of our life, we can't think about anybody else. In the highest points, this world is not developing problems because the backwards people, the ones wearing salawat and imama, it's because of forward people. It's because of things that they have the whole world and everything, but they don't even have the decency to help the one next to them. When my father called back, he reminded us, he said, in Bilal Park, when Hazrat Ji was 49 years old, he started feeling really sick when he was giving a talk. He told the people that were there, he says, please, I cannot finish my talk. They said, you have to finish your talk. He finished his talk. He was walking towards his room and he fell. He's only 49 years old and he had the pressure of the world on his shoulders, because we all know Mawlana was on another level when it comes to ilm and da'wah in all aspects. He fell down. Hajj ibn Wahab Sahib and the brothers, they picked him up. They said, you have to go to the hospital. He said that I'm not going to go to the hospital because there's nurses over there, women, female nurses. I don't want to. He said, no, don't worry about it. Even in that moment, he was worried about making sure he's protecting his iman. They said, no, you have to go, we'll arrange for you. He gets in the ambulance. As he's going, one AlHussnain Sabah was there in the ambulance. He's telling him to make the dua, Allahumma rahmatak arja indi min amali. Allahumma rahmatak arja indi min amali. He keeps repeating the same thing. Oh Allah, while he's telling him, read this. And he keeps saying, Ameen, because he has enough strength to read the dua. And he says, oh Allah, your mercy is more hopeful to me than my amal. Your mercy is more hopeful to me than my amal. Your mercy is more hopeful to me than my amal. And as he's reciting this dua, he passed away. Hajj ibn Wahab Sahib and Bhai Bashir Rahmatullah alayhi, who's the father of Mawlana Ihsan Sahib. These two people were very close friends with Mawlana Ihsan. They were the same age almost. They put themselves in the room and they said to each other, we're not going to cry today. Everyone's here, the whole gathering is here, and that's the reason why I came today. When you have, I'm not sure if anyone's going to benefit from me being here, but when you have students of knowledge, you have people from my city over here in Michigan that are also part of the class, you feel morally obliged, ethically obliged to be there, to see you people off, and just to meet you guys. That's all it is. And so both of them closed themselves in the room and said, we're not going to cry today because there is this responsibility of deen upon our shoulders. People are waiting, they want to hear us. So let's bottle our emotions and speak to them tomorrow and do their tashkil. The next day after the Ijtima was finished, they say Hajj ibn Wahab Sahib and Bhai Bashir Sahib closed themselves in the room and they cried for weeks because their friend has passed away. You know who's telling me this? My father, the day his son passed away. Because to teach us something that our life is not for us. Why is it that we get so happy when the stocks rise whenever we invest in stocks? If it goes up, we get really happy. But if it goes down, we get so much anxiety. What? It should be the same if you get something or you give something. You should feel happier when you give than when you get. Nothing belongs to us. Everything belongs to Allah. And the best thing you can give to Allah is your life. Dedicate our lives for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a means to understand this. When I was driving after my brother passed away, we went 40 days Jamaat. We were driving from Phoenix all the way to Seattle. As I was driving through these mountains, I came to this conclusion, and I'm not sure if I told my this. I came back to my brother's grave and I decided this. Kuch shauq akhirat ke liye chhod do. Leave some desires for akhirah. Leave it. I am all about shauqs that are halal. Alhamdulillah knows that. I'm all about getting an M5, a 300ZX, and the E60, the E39, all that. But you know what? Leave some shauqs for akhirah. Allah is not going to give you the greatest reward for leaving haram. He's going to give you the highest reward for leaving the things that you need. For your shauqs. Yeah, you could probably get it. It's probably halal. But is it going to take from your time that you could give to people? Is it going to take from the time that you can offer help and support to people? Then don't do it. Because we all know, Man taraka shay'an lillah awadahu Allahu khayran min. A person who leaves something for the sake of Allah, Allah will give him something much greater than that. All of you have left your years of your life to study ilm, to excel in knowledge. But the purpose of this is that at the end of the day, to come to this point, that we have to give the rest of our life for the sake of Allah. Everything we have is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That person is successful who does that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, already inna Allah ashtara min al-mu'minina anfusahum wa amwalahum bi inna lahum al-jannah. Allah will give us, the reward for us doing that is that Allah will give us Jannah. Thomas Edison could have been the one who invented this light. But Thomas Edison's technology and science is not going to light the bulb for us in our grave. Is it? It's not like the blood for us in the grave. Abu Hazm al-Madinah used to say, إذا انظر كل شيء كرهت الموت من أجله فاتركه اليوم. Make a list of all the things that you would not want to be doing when Malakul Maut comes. Make a list of it. I have my list to share with you. It's not about halal and haram. It's not about halal and haram. Would you want Malakul Maut to come while you're doing this? Write it down. Once you make that list, leave it now because you don't know when he's going to come. Because he doesn't ask. He doesn't ask. And trust me, كَمَا تَعِيشُونَ تَمُوتُونَ. The effort that you've done all your life, that is the effort you'll be doing when you die. Illa masha'Allah, principles are principles. There's always exceptions. My brother, on Saturday, October 3rd, he was going to madrasa. It's a weekend. He told my mom, so where are you going? He said, I'm going to madrasa. He said, stay home. He said, I'm meeting 50% of my life is for you, and 50% of my life is for madrasa. Half my life. Right? On Monday, he taught in the morning. He picked up medication from my mom, and he passed away on the way. If you measure where he passed away, it's literally halfway between my mom's house and madrasa. Wallahi. Allah showed all of us that is what happens when you are rijalun sadaqu ma'adullah alayh. Once you make a firm intention that this is what I want to do. So all you brothers who are sitting here, yes, you may have different ashwaq. And I told Sheikh I'm an emotional wreck, but honestly, I don't want to be offensive. We have different ashwaq. We may have shawq of certain games and certain things. Start to take them out of our lives one by one and replace them with shawq of akhirah, one by one. And that is why it is important to understand this concept, that anytime there's a demand for deen, you're ready for it. Anytime. There's no second thing. This is what I was born for. Khalid bin Walid, one of my friends, he's from Colorado. It's not my friend, acquaintance, he was 60 years old, but we've been knew each other because we worked on E39 M5s when we were young from Michigan. So I called him recently. He called me, I called him. He said, hey, Abdul, I'm leaving the country, going to South America for retirement. I have my car, you want to take it? I said, no, I'm good. I don't need your car. It's fine. Why are you planning to go there for anyway? So I'm just going to retire over there. I said, what are you going to do there? He said, I'm going to teach guitar lessons, and I'll be okay with that. I said, isn't there anybody else who teaches guitar lessons in that area? He says, I have a quality that no business can compete with me. No one can compete with me. I'm not worried about anybody else. So then I'm not asking because I'm not 2 minutes left, but what do you think that quality is? Think about it before I answer the question. What do you think that quality is of a businessman where he or she feels so confident that no one can compete with him? The quality is he doesn't care about the money. He doesn't care about profit. He's just doing it because of his passion. So now if hourly rate is $50 somewhere else, he'll just $10. I don't care what, I'm not here for money. I'm just doing it because I want to stay busy because I'm passionate. So you wipe out the competition completely. When he said that, wallahi, the first thing I thought of was Khalid bin Walid telling the Romans, you know what, you can't fight us. You can't compete with us. Because the people that are with me are people who are not here to survive, but they're here to die. Are not here so they can survive and go back and tell people their stories of their heroism and valor and courage. Rather, there are people who are here because they know their families will feel honored if they lay their lives over here and people go back and tell them that your father, your brother was shaheed. And people that have come with you are people who are here to save their lives. And they want to go back to their hometown so they can have statues made for them and their names can be mentioned forever. You can't beat us. This is a competition that you lost before you even started. Forget about it. I'll conclude by saying this. So the difference between us going in the path of Allah and the Sahaba is just simple. When they used to leave their homes, as we're doing right now, I'm saying, as you leave this madrasa, as you stay here, when they used to leave their homes, they used to leave with no preparation for returning. वापस आने की नीयत से नहीं जाते थे. तू बचा के न रख इसे तेरा आईना है वो आईना कि शिकस्त हो तो अजीज दर है निगाह आईना सास में. Ikhwan, he says, don't, this vessel of yours, this mirror of yours, that the heart of yours that you have, Don't hold it with so much fragility. It's so fragile. You protect it. You hold it. Rather, the more cracks this mirror has, the more beloved it is in the eyes of the maker and the creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The more broken it is, the more beloved it is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The more you have that in your life. So Muhammad said that they used to leave their homes with no intention to come back. We leave with all the preparation to come back. That's it. We have all the preparation to come back. When I come back, this is going to happen. That's going to happen. I'm not saying I'm giving you the da'wah of the highest level. At least at the minimum, leave some things of dunya on the table. Leave. People will entice us. Be that person who cannot be deceived by anything. Hassan Bashar said, it was asked, what is a faqih? He said, a faqih is a zahid an dunya, basirun fi uyubihi, wala yabi'u dinahu bi'arad min ad-dunya. He says the faqih is the one who is completely negligent, abstinent, careless, all these words of zuhud. Doesn't care about other people's dunya. He doesn't care about it. Doesn't get anything dunya. It doesn't make him happy. You can keep it. The Prophet said, لو أن لي مثل أحد ذهبا ما مر علي ثلاث. He said, if I had the whole mount of Uhud as gold, okay, you would think if you had the whole mount of Uhud as gold, you wouldn't even do with it. He says, 3 days won't go by until I will give every single thing away, except for some money I will keep to give a loan, that to pay my loan back. Sometimes you would pray salah, and right after salah, he would jump over the backs of people, go do something and come back. When they would ask him, what did you do? He said, I had some money left. I did not want to die with money left in my house. Because he understood that we're not here to take, we're here to give. We're here to make other people's lives better. Understand this concept, understand that everything belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This was a very difficult lesson that we learned. And we're still trying to learn as a family. But for the rest of my life, I will impart this message to anybody I see. Once you understand this, then who cares about the contract of the masjid? Because being for 3 salahs, you'll do much more than that. Who cares if you get abused by the board? It doesn't make a difference, because them abusing you is making you elevate in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It doesn't make any difference. Who cares about that? Who cares if they're short-changing? You don't need extra money anyways. Because you just want an opportunity to serve deen. You don't want an opportunity for any fame, because more fame means less respect in the eyes of Allah. So you don't care about that. You just want qubuliyya in the eyes of Allah, acceptance in the eyes of Allah. And you will run for that. And it doesn't matter what happens, you will not be content with anything before that. So for this, this, Iqbal says this, I've concluded this. Today we look at ourselves right here, like maybe compared to a Harvard graduation or a University of Michigan graduation, stadium's full when I went last time. And Obama's there because his daughter's there. Wow, mashallah, great. But guess what? The moment you pass away, when you go under the arsh of Allah, you're not going to see many of those people there. You're going to see many of us there. Inshallah. And you're going to be like, hey, there's Imam Shafi, there's Imam Ahmad, there's Imam Malik, there's Imam Abu Hanifa, here's Marsh Tahami, there's Shaykh Yusuf al-Nuri. And you're not going to feel alone anymore. You're not going to feel like a stranger anymore. And I look at my brother and I say, you know what? The moment he passed away, he probably said, hey, this is the real deal right here. If you give me the whole world to bring me back for a second, I love my family, but I'd rather be here. So our true medal ceremony is going to be in the day of judgment. Until then, Abu Dhar al-Farad was told by the Prophet, he said, Abu Dhar, what will happen to you when they will kick you out of Medina and the people will leave you? He said, Ya Rasulullah, if they do that to me, I'll fight them. He asked him again, Abu Dhar, what will happen to you when they do that to you? Someone abuses me and kick me out of my own city, I'll fight them. And the Prophet put his hand on his chest. So Abu Dhar, be patient until you meet me in my pond. Don't do anything till then. And I will get all the reward for you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Be patient with the temptation, desires. Inshallah, Allah will give us all that back in more abundance on the day of judgment. And inshallah, I'll at least have a part of it. Ibn Qayyim used to say to his students that if you get to Jannah and you don't see me there, tell Allah, there's somebody who used to come and remind us about you. We don't see him here and help me get out of the doom that I'm in. Assalamu alaikum.
For those beautiful words. And we can't thank him enough. MashaAllah, you see the connection that he has with the youth and his generosity. Right before he came up here, he went and he handed each and every single graduate of ours a gift. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gifts him with firdaus. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses him and his family and helps them through their difficult time that they're going through and help them with the loss that they suffered. Ameen. Next, inshallah, I would like to call one of our fifth-year students, our graduating class, Brother Harith Shehzad, who will recite for us an nasheed. And mashallah, he would lead our salahs, and many community members would enjoy his tilawah, his beautiful recitation. And today, inshallah, we would like to all enjoy the nasheed that he has prepared for us today. Bismillah.
يا طيبة يا طيبة يا داوى العيان اشتقنا لك والهوى نادانا والهوى نادانا لما سار المركب ناساني ساروا دمعي ما جفاني أخذوا قلبي مع جناني يا طيبة يتيم الولهانا يتيم الولهانا يا طيبة يا طيبة يا داوى العيان اشتقنا لك والهوى نادانا والهوى نادانا قبلتي بيت الله صابر علاني يوما لك زائر يوما لك زائر يا ترى هل تراني ناظر للكعبة أتغمرني بأمانة أتغمرني بأمانة يا طيبة يا طيبة يا داوى العيان اشتقنا لك والهوى نادانا والهوى نادانا نبينا أغلى أمنياتي أزورك لو مر بحياتي وبجوارك صلي صلاتي واذكر ربي واتلو القرآن واتلو القرآن طيبة يا طيبة يا داوى العيان اشتقنا لك والهوى نادانا والهوى نادانا بشراك المدينة بشراك أتمنى بقدوم الهادي يا بشراك وهل لي مأوى في حماك أتمنى فالنور سبانا سبانا نوركم سبانا يا طيبة يا طيبة يا داوى العيان اشتقنا لك والهوى نادانا والهوى نادانا
Takbir. MashaAllah. So that is what we used to, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the ni'mah of being able to listen to him for many years. It saddens us to see him go, but inshallah, another community will benefit from him, inshallah, and another community will be able to enjoy his recitation of the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his beautiful voice, inshallah. Now, I would like to call upon the graduates and hopefully they'll share a few words with us about their experience, their sentiments, how they feel about the madrasa, and just give them the platform so that they can share with us their feelings. So first, inshallah, I'll call upon Safiur Rahman.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. My name is Safiur Rahman and I'm from New York City. So I'd like to share some few words with you guys, inshallah. First and foremost, I'd like to thank all our beloved teachers, parents, and students for joining us today on our graduation ceremony. Many of us have traveled a great distance to join us on this memorable occasion. Families and teachers have been waiting eagerly for the last 5 years in order for us to arrive at this very moment, at this very point. One of my earliest memories arriving at AlHussnain was very anxious. I was very anxious about this. And I felt my heart was very heavy because I was coming from a different place. I was coming from New York, leaving my family in order to seek knowledge and the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ. Upon arrival, I was blown away with the kindness and compassion that the teachers displayed welcoming us newcoming students. Each of the teachers have their own unique qualities, known for being the mother of the madrasa, none other than Maulana Numair. I have never seen any teacher being so caring and loving towards the other students. A man known for resolving about any issues with the students face, just about any time, whether it be during the day, whether it be during the night when he's with his family. For the constant yelling during classes or showing up late for mutala, wallahi, it taught us the importance of time management. Just like a mother would yell at her child, at their children out of love and care, Maulana Numair, you really held up to your name as being the mother of the madrasa. Maulana Imran, your intellect truly ceases to amaze me by the way Allah has molded you to continuously seek higher knowledge. You came to India solely to teach us. However, you went through great lengths to learn a whole new language just to make it easy to communicate with us. You've truly devoted yourself fully as our teacher, and you were patient with us Even when we had a difficulty understanding a specific topic, you would explain things 10 times if it needed to be explained, without any signs of frustration. You took such a difficult subject and broke it down for us in order to learn in the most simplest yet effective manner. Least to say, patience is one of the best qualities that I've learned from you, Sajid. I'd like to thank Maulana Sawar for cooking us delicious meals that no madrasa can even expect of. I've witnessed him prepare food days on straight just for our happiness. He shed many tears due to pain, but still hung on tight and steadfast in order for our meals to be prepared with affection. When I first came to madrasa, he would cook for about 30 to 40 students. But now Allah has given him the ability to cook for more than 100 students a day, mashallah. It is truly because of his delicious foods, our struggles of living in madrasa were decreased. May Allah bless him for his struggles and reward him immensely. Ameen. The Prophet ﷺ and his companions radiallahu anhum were the best of role models. However, unfortunately, they are amongst those who have departed from this dunya. But you, Maulana Shammas, you define what a man of inspiration should be like from the people that are still amongst us. I ask Allah to allow me one day to become at least even half the man you've shown us to be. You have multiple traits. You are kind, loving, caring, funny, intelligent, supportive, honest, but most of all, you are our shoulder to lean on during the times of hardship. No matter what was going on, we knew you would understand us. You were not just a teacher, but also a very good friend. You have befriended us as if we were your younger brother, and I couldn't have asked for a better example of what it means to be a man. I truly treasure your step, more than words can describe. I want to thank the rest of the teachers, Maulana Sulaiman, Maulana Ali, Maulana Dawood, Maulana Arsalan, for your tremendous efforts and sacrifices for the betterment of the madrasa. May Allah accept all your efforts and grant you khair and afiyah in this dunya and in the hereafter. To my beloved classmates, madrasa wouldn't have been complete without you. May Allah make all the graduates, including my classmates, successful in this life and in the hereafter. I honestly didn't think that we would get this far without the du'as of our teachers. Please, I ask all of you to continue to remember us in your du'as, and we are nothing without them. Last but not least, I wanted to thank my family for giving me the chance to study here in Indiana and financially supporting me through my studies. Although times were difficult and stressful, you were there for me regardless of what the situation was. You took the time to understand my decision and sent me off to school so far away from you guys. Allah granted you patience and understanding through all the times away from each other. To my dear older brother, it is hard for me to put into words all the sacrifices you have made for me in my future as a student of knowledge. Growing up, you were tough with me, and although at the same time, I wasn't pleased with you. And I have now come to learn all the goodness that have came with all your teachings. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless you. Jazakallah khair for being the older brother. Jazakallah khair for being the older brother to make all the tough decisions so I wouldn't get hurt later on. To my beloved mother, I truly love you so much, and I hope I was able to make you proud, as proud as I am to be called your son. May Allah have mercy on your soul, and hope to be reunited with you one day in Jannah. Abu, তোমাকে ছাড়া তোমার কষ্ট ছাড়া আমি কোথাও যেতে পারতাম না। আমি আজকে এ পর্যন্ত দাঁড়াইতে পারতাম না। তুমি আমাকে কখনো কিছু জিজ্ঞাসা করো না। আমার যদি কিছু ভুল হয় আমাকে মাফ করে দিও। তুমি যত কিছু আমাদের জন্য করো, ধন্যবাদ। Jazakallah khair to all of you for granting us a moment of your precious time. May Allah be pleased with all of us and increase our ranks in this life and in the hereafter. I ask Allah to keep us amongst those that will be accepted in Jannatul Firdaus. May Allah allow us to continue and spread the knowledge which we have learned towards the betterment of this ummah. May Allah forgive us all for our shortcomings and increase us in sincerity. May Allah increase us in knowledge, but let this knowledge be with sincerity, not seeking fame, glory, status, or material wealth. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakumullah khairan, Safi, for those beautiful words. You may not have known, but Safi, years ago, he lost his mother. She passed away. And we've always told him that while we may not be able to reciprocate that love or duplicate it, we will try our best to fill that role and to show you the love that you deserve. Next, inshallah, I will call Yusuf Salam from 5th year from Fort Wayne, share a few words, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulih Nabiyyil Kareem, wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Yusuf. I am originally from Burma. I live in Fort Wayne, Indiana. All praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I greet you with a greeting of peace and love. I could be in Thailand right now, perhaps living in a refugee camp in Thailand, with struggling and have rough life. But instead, it is the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the bravery of my parents. I am in the stage of studying at AlHussnain Madrasa in Indianapolis. And today I see so many beautiful faces. Alhamdulillah, I'm lucky to be here with the tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and feel incredibly humbled to be here to share a few words. Really, who am I? Nothing. All my beloved teachers and ulama are here sitting in this gathering before me. I don't even deserve to be here. But with the blessings and tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the dua of my teachers and my parents, I'm here today, alhamdulillah. Thank you. Thank you so much for creating a learning space that is innovative, with incredible system of teaching. Thank you for providing us with a safe space where we can learn and discuss about Quranic and Dini matters. Our teachers, they sacrificed their lives spending outside of this country years ago, and they came back to make it easy for us so we can learn in a safe space here in the United States. I just want to share a few words to my fellow classmates and also those who are in these fields. Remember, we learn so much. Remember, we have learned so much and need to learn so much. Please remember that you have occupied sacred space here. You have your dreams, ideas, and perspectives are valued. Never take life for granted. We all are here in this path for a reason. To spread this deen to each and every single person. This is our responsibility, so be thankful. With all that you do, always be kind, be patient, practice forgiveness, and always smile. And this is for my parents and loved ones. Thank you. There are no words to truly describe how appreciated I am that you have done for me. A special thank you to my supportive parents. And thank you for sacrificing so much for me. A special heartfelt thank you to our community members, family and friends, all those who believe in our dreams. I want to take a moment and deeply thanks to all my teachers. Maulana Numair, Maulana Imran, Maulana Shamaz, Maulana Arsalan, Maulana Ali, Maulana Sulaiman, Maulana Dawood, Maulana Sarver, Mufti Yasir, and Maulana Ramzi. They are the one who helped me to achieve my goal. So much appreciate to all my teachers who treat us like a family. Allah is my Lord, and with the help of my teachers, I am here today wearing a smile on my face. Allah is the one who created us, and to Him we will be returned. Of course, seeking knowledge is a lifelong journey. Alhamdulillah for everything. Jazakumullah khair.
Jazakumullah khair, Yusuf. You know, Fort Wayne has so many of our Burmese brothers and sisters there. And for them to have such an individual is a great gift, and that's an understatement. To assist the community over there and the help that they need, especially coming over from where they came and the difficulties that they faced. Next, I'll call Zubair Rahim to share a few words with us. Zubair is one of, mashallah, many different backgrounds, nationalities. I'll allow him to shed some light on that. Till this day, we still don't know where Zubair is truly from.
رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My name is Zubair. I'm from North Carolina, and I just want to take a few moments to share my experience over here. It was a great journey. It was a great thorny journey that I spent over here. You know, it wasn't easy. I spent 5 years over here, and the time flew. It went by really quick. I still remember the first day I stepped into this madrasa. You know, I asked myself, am I gonna last over here? How long I'm gonna last? But, you know, with the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and with the du'as of my parents and my teachers, I'm here today standing before you guys. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So first and foremost, I want to thank to my parents. You know, whenever I'm going through tough times in madrasa, I will call home, and just hearing a few words from my mom, just hearing a few words from my dad, it will resolve all the problems that I'm facing. And with their du'as, I've made it. You know, my dad, whenever I will call him on the phone, you know, the first thing he would do is he would give me du'as. right? He will motivate me, like he would put me back on my feet, right? Uh, so I'm very thankful for that. And secondly, I want to thank to all my beloved asatiza, teachers and staff. You know, they did a lot for us. When everything seemed so hard and complicated at first, then all of it was solved by the words that were spoken from their blessed tongues. Those words were spoken from their heart. You know, those words are filled with wisdom, and they are like the perfect antidote for the problems that I was facing at those moments. They were the lanterns in my darkest hours. They have fed us like how a mother feeds her child with so much love and care. They brought out the best versions of ourselves, mold us to become the best version of ourselves. And you know, Mona Numer Usaji, he used to say that after you leave this place, you know, there will be so many hardships that you're gonna face. But do one thing, he said, don't ever compromise on deen. Even though we're leaving, right? Even though we're leaving, but Ustadi is giving us this advice. You will be put in positions in life where our iman is going to be tested. But he said, always hold on to your usul, to your principles. And Maulana Shamaz, of course, you know, he's like the big brother, to us. You know, he's so friendly, mashallah. You know, he doesn't consider himself as our superior. I remember he saying that, you know, in our class, we used to sit around the teacher, and the teacher would sit in a special chair. And he would have a desk front of him. He would say, I'm just a person behind this desk. I'm nobody, you know? So mashallah, he's very humble and very intelligent. And mashallah, he's very sweet. And Ustad Imran, mashallah, he's a great teacher, you know? He can make a student understand, even if that student was like a dummy, like myself. He was able to make all of us understand whatever he was teaching us. And of course, Maulana Imran, you know, he's like my boy. He just, mashallah, he's very different from the rest of the teachers, you know. Like whenever I would be facing problems in madrasa, I would just go to him and talk to him. And mashallah, he would just say things that will make me feel better. SubhanAllah. And on our server, mashallah, he's the backbone of our madrasa. You know, every day he works so hard. He works so hard, even though he's going through so much pain, physical pain, mental pain, right? But he would still get up every morning and he would cook for us. It's not easy to cook for like 100 students. It's not easy even to cook for ourselves. How many of us here cook for ourselves? I don't, right? So it's very hard, But despite that, he gets up every morning and he makes food for us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him Jannah. Ameen. And Dr. Bilal, you won't find a person like him. He's very rare. MashaAllah, he has supported this institute with so much. It's almost unimaginable. And lastly, I want to mention a few words to my brothers, all of you. We have came a long way together, right? We have came a long way together, made so much memories and moments. We shared laughter and tears. And we populated this place. Without us, the madrasa it won't be the same. Our teachers, they used to say that whenever you guys go back for the break, this whole madrasa is like a graveyard, right? So we made this madrasa. This is our home. And this is not the time for our departure. Our physical bodies may be leaving this institute, but our hearts will always be connected to this place. Our Ustad, Sheikh Ramzi, he was telling us that don't consider this as a departure or separation. This is just a new beginning to the new chapter of our lives. Inshallah. It wasn't easy to be a madrasa, but it was worth it. MashaAllah, this quote was said by Muhammad Sulaiman. MashaAllah. When I was in first year, we would sit in gatherings with our senior students, and they would give us advices and stuff like that. And this is one thing I remember from him. He said, it's not easy, but it's worth it. And right now I'm realizing that. So what I want to say to the students is that, it's not easy to be, stuck in madrasa. It's not easy to learn the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It requires a lot of effort and patience. But when you guys leave this place and go out into the real world, find a purpose. Don't just become nobody, right? Impact the world with positivity. This reminds me of hadith of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he said, أن عبدين تحابا في الله عز وجل واحد في المشرق وآخر في المغرب لجمع الله بينهما يوم القيامة يقول هذا الذي تحبه فيه. The meaning of this hadith is that Nabi Sallallahu stated that when two slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they love each other for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even though one may be in the east and another one may be in the west, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will gather them, unite them on the day of judgment, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, this is whom you have loved for my sake. So this kalima, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, have brought us together. And now we're departing this institute just for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So set your goals, aim high, and inshallah, you will reach those goals. Don't be afraid to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams that ultimately fuel disappointment. So, and also my Ustad, Rama, it said that we came in this dunya to go, not to stay. So right now we're leaving, but the bonds and the connections that we have created will be everlasting, inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
Those beautiful words. The reason why he's pausing so much is because he's having difficulty saying the words because of the emotion. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make each and every single one of these students of ours a source of light for not just the people, the Muslims that we have here in this country, but for the world. Ameen. Next, I will call Talha Yusuf from Chicago to share a few words with us.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Talha, and I'm from Chicago, the Devon area. And, so my journey here in AlHussnain started really into 2015. So the first time I came here, I wasn't accepted because I was a little young, so I had to go back. But the following year, when I came back, Alhamdulillah, I was accepted. And from there on, my journey began in this madrasa. This journey was an amazing journey. It was a very fast, but a very long journey at the same time. Every single teacher here has such a specific role in my life. You know, when we think about any teacher here, right? Whenever there was a problem in my life in madrasa, or whenever I had to talk to a teacher, the teacher would be more on the man, right? I would go talk to him, and he would try his best to always help me. Like the previous classmates have said, that he is the mother of this madrasa, right? Whenever something bad would happen, and something you need help from, in something, right? You would go approach Maulana Mir, and he would be there to help you, right? And another teacher, the Maulana Shamas, right? He is someone that embodies the characteristics of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? He was always there whenever you needed him. Whenever you needed him, he was always there for you. Every single student that goes and talks to him, every single student that approaches him, always feels like he's the closest student to him. I have never seen any type of characteristics like Maulana. Another teacher, Maulana Imran, right? Whenever, just like the other classmates said, that whenever you would not understand anything in class, right, he would always try his best to make the student understand. There is no other teacher that can explain like Maulana Imran does, right? He has a unique and specific way of explaining. And even to the lowest student of the class, right, would understand what he was trying to say. The hardest of the hardest subjects, if it was given to him, he would make it feel really easy, and he would simplify it, and he would explain it, right? And then Maulana Salam, right? He's one of the recent teachers, but I feel like that I've developed a connection with him in these 2 years that I've developed a connection with other teachers in 5 years. Right? Whenever I would be down, especially in these last couple months, thinking about the graduation and thinking about all these things, these emotions, one person that I would go talk to, right, was Maulana Salam. Right? You text him at 12 o'clock in the night, just said, I want to talk to you. He would say, come to my room in 10 minutes. And he would not let you go until you are done talking to him and you feel satisfied, right? He would offer you anything he has in his room, right? Such a kind-hearted person, right? Another person
another teacher that has impacted me in my life is Mana Ali, right? Mana Ali, such a teacher that is always full of joy and happiness, right? Whenever I had a bad day in madrasa, right? Whenever I would get screamed by the teachers, or maybe get screamed by the teacher for not doing homework or anything, right? And I'm having a bad day, so go talk to Mana Ali for just a couple minutes, right? And you will cheer up your whole day, right? And this journey was a very hard journey, right? But because of all the teachers here, right? And because of all my beloved classmates, right? The one person I want to mention specifically is Abdullah Haris, right? My roommate. Whenever I would have to do anything, or any mashwara I would have to do in madrasa, one person that was always by my side was my roommate Abdullah Haris. He never left my side. He always guided me how to approach the teachers, how to approach anyone, any problem I had in madrasa, any arguments with anyone, he would always be there for me to show me the way. And I really appreciate it, right? And lastly, I want to thank everyone, right? Including all the teachers, all my classmates, and I want to ask for forgiveness for all the teachers and all the classmates. If I have done anything wrong, please forgive me. And just one thing is that to the fellow students, that really appreciate these moments, because these moments will come to an end, right? And I know right now you might feel like that I just want to get out of this place, but when these moments come, you want to stay longer. Right? Like right now, I'm pretty sure all our classmates, right, we want to stay longer, but now it's our time to leave and we have to leave, right? So I do that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reunites all of us in the time of khair, and reunites all of us in Jannah, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. And one more thing was, without these people, I would not have been anywhere, right? And without them having such a big impact in my life, and without them being by my side of every single step of the way, I would not have been anywhere. These people are my parents, right? My dad and my mom and my mother, right? Every single time, right, I would call them, right, and they would cheer up my day, right? My older brother, whenever I need to talk to him, he was always there for me, right? They were always there to support me in my decisions and would help me make my decisions, right? And I appreciate that a lot from them, right? And I just want to say that I love you guys, I love you and me, and I'm making hear this, and I love you all, and I love you both.
MashaAllah, Allah is such an individual, and I just told him the other day that his joy is contagious. You sit around Allah and he starts talking, you could be having a bad day, and you just sit around Allah and he says the most goofy, outlandish things, and he just cheers you up. He has that very special characteristic, and that's one of the characteristics of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as well. Next, I would like to call Nu'man Muslihuddin of New Jersey to come and share a few words with us.
رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for coming out today and sharing in our happiness. You know, this was a very great journey, very long, but yet very short. You know, these were probably the best years of my life. I've never had such experiences in my life before. This is something which will always be a huge part of my life and will have an impact on me till the end of my life. You know, this is where I learned how to be a proper human being. You know, I learned how to talk, how to walk, and how to act, how to be a proper Muslim, how to be a ummati of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And first when I came to the madrasa, you know, 5 years ago, and I wasn't really expecting to get accepted. You know, I just came, I applied, it came with the flow. And then I just got accepted, and then when I saw my name on the list, I was very shocked and it just hit me. Like, oh, I just got accepted, and then, I have to stay here for another 4 to 5 years. Am I really ready to take this journey? It was really something which hit me and was a huge sacrifice. It was a very huge sacrifice to make the decision and to stay over here. And now today I cannot believe that today is the day that I have to leave, and I do not want to leave this place. This is a place that has become my home. The people over here have become my family. At this point, this is the ayah of the Quran that comes to my mind. And I truly understand the meaning of this ayah today. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. That you will not gain the piety, the true piety, until and unless you spend from what you love the most. 5 years ago, the hardest thing and the most beloved thing to me was to stay home and to stay with my family. And now, after 5 years, the hardest thing for me is to depart this place. So this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us, and this is how we seek the piety, and this is how we seek the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So first of all, I would like to, for all the gratitude that belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for choosing me for the sacred path, even though I'm not worthy of it at all. And making me trying to be an inheritor of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And secondly, I would like to thank my family for supporting me all along and helping me in my decisions and helping me give the sacrifice. Especially my parents. I think it's truly because of their du'as that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has accepted me for this. If it were not for the du'as, I would not have been accepted for this sacred journey. And I do not know how to thank my teachers. There is nothing in this world that I can repay them with. I even feel ashamed to try to thank them with just words. There's nothing in this world that I could feel like I can repay them with. There are no words to describe the teachers of this madrasa. They're the greatest people, the greatest personalities that I have ever met in my life. When I first came to this madrasa, of course, it felt so foreign, and it's such a new place, so far away from home. But the teachers, they welcomed us like as if we were family, and made us feel like this is our home, and made us feel like a part of them. And especially my most beloved teacher, Ameen, he has supported me from my first day. From my first day, he would always give me. He would talk to me. He would text me every couple of weeks. Is there anything that you need? Is there something that's bothering you? And he would take out extra time just to listen to my mutala since my first year. He would always call me and he would listen to my extra mutala and give me extra time. And Maulana is such a person who has literally given his life to this madrasa. There's not a single hour of the day that he's not thinking or worrying about the madrasa. Any hour of the day, hour of the night, in the middle of the night, if you text Maulana, he will reply back to you, and he would address your problem. We would see him coming to the madrasa sometimes 1 a.m., 2 a.m., just to check on the students, just to make sure everything is running smoothly. And he was a father-like figure to me. He was my older brother and a great friend. And he has taught us so much akhlaq, and he has taught us how to be a true ummati of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And he has taught us how to be true sons, true fathers, and husbands, inshallah. The next person I would like to thank is Mashamas. He has taught us from the beginning till the end. He's such a unique teacher that I haven't seen any person with better akhlaq than him. He makes every student feel like as if he is the closest to him. I haven't seen a person with more sabr and more sabr than him. In class we would always joke around and we would do things that I would think that that's it, now it's over. The teacher would just destroy us. But Mashamas was always would deal with so much sabr. In these 5 years, I have never seen a single time that he has gotten angry at any student. He would deal and he would understand the problem of each and every single student. He's the most supportive person I've ever seen in my life, and inspired to be like him one day. And after that, Ma Imran, he has also taught us for all 5 years. Ma Imran's class was a class that I would personally look forward to the whole day. Having so many classes, but I would always look forward to Ma Imran's class. When he would come into class and he would joke, like the joke with us, like we were like his best friends. He would talk to us like in the beginning of the class. He would never start the class unless he would speak to us for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Just talk to us and joke around with us. That was a class that always, would take out the stress of the day, make the day feel like as if make a long day shorter. And he almost in every year has always taught us the hardest of the books, but he would simplify it so much and he would make it so easy. I have not seen a person that's seen a teacher who would make the lesson so simple. And he has taught us so much love and so much wisdom. And I would also like to thank all the other teachers. Firstly, Mufti Yasir, who is a true gem and a mountain of knowledge. I feel so honored to be a student. Maulana Umar, who is not with us today, he is in New York. He has taught us as we were his friends, and he has a huge part in my tarbiyah. AlHussnain, who has taught us with so much love and affection, and similarly Ma Sulaiman, Ma Dawood, and Ma Ali, who have taught us not just as teachers, but also when they were students here, have helped me immensely when I was a student, and always went out their way to help me. And last but definitely not the least, Ma Sarwar, who has made this long journey so much easier. There was not a single day in these 5 years where I've heard that Ma Sarwar did not cook food today because he was sick. He has not taken a single day off. Lastly, I would like to thank my classmates for always being there for me and for always being true brothers. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to complete this journey. And in the end, I would like to give a piece of advice to all the students. Stay steadfast and value these teachers and learn from their amazing personalities, and to value the time over here and to enjoy this journey. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He accepts me and accepts the efforts of all the teachers and the students likewise. Jazakumullah khairan.
Inshallah, Numan, one of our soccer stars, or he would a self-perceived soccer star. He thought he was the best, but Monomer had different opinions. They would go at it on the soccer field. And whenever Monomer was goalie, he would make sure that he would commit a foul on Numan so that Numan wouldn't be able to score. Next, I will call upon Haris Shehzad, who sang that beautiful nasheed for us, to come and say a few words, inshallah. Haris wants to come up there, so inshallah, said we'll call up Ikrama Tali, son of Maulana Sohail Tali. Many of us, we know Maulana Sohail, mashallah, in his efforts for the deen that he does in the work that he does in New York. And inshallah, we'll call upon Ikrama to share a few words with us.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulil ameen. Nahmadu wa nusalli ala rasulil kareem. Amma ba'd. Alhamdulillah, my name is Ikrama, and from New York. This was a very long journey. Came from, just like any other kid, I could have been anywhere else. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He chose me to be over here. And we all know our weaknesses. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He just really didn't have any, we have no real virtue over anyone. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He chose us for such a blessed path. And it's so blessed that we cannot even imagine. The blessings of which are infinite. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the biggest ni'mah that we have is the understanding of this deen. So obviously the people who are made the reason and the means to understand this deen are the most valuable people. They're the most virtuous people. At the time, we all came from different backgrounds, and they were able to, include all of us and teach us exactly what we needed to know. From the beginning, as soon as I came, just like everyone else, a very outstanding thing about our madrasa is that it's so familial. Everyone feels like a family. The teacher hardly feels like a teacher sometimes, We have to remind each other that, no, we have to respect these teachers. And the whole point of this is obviously to show our thanks, which we can never actually do. We were in a place, and obviously we're living in America. The environment is, so against us of what we're trying to do. And we were in such ages that we thought everything what we're doing is right. And we thought we had the perfect goals in mind. But with the blessings, it's such a big blessing. We don't know which dua of our parents, from which deep part of their ikhlas, we were able to go through this journey. If it was for our choice, we would never ever be here. From the beginning, we came, and the teachers, the way they look past our faults and look deeper into us, they know what exactly, they try to, look at us, that one day this guy's gonna get benefit, And this is the biggest blessing, because no matter what other blessing we have, if we don't have the true understanding of deen, then that blessing is going to be a burden upon us. But with this deen, even when you're going through the most difficult times, it's a blessing for us. And I have to definitely thank each and every single teacher. They all were so special. They, I can't even describe each and every single teacher's hard work and their sincerity. The best part of the madrasa is that every single person over here has pure intention. We may have ups and downs, but imagine living in an environment where all the people responsible only want your benefit. I don't think we'll ever find such a place, where everyone just wants only our benefit. And I feel like it's gonna hit me more later on after leaving, but I could kind of understand right now. And the teachers may think that we're gonna forget them, because as Phil said, if we compare them with parents, even though parents, sometimes we have problems with them and ups and downs. Even though we have ups and downs with them, parents always have this thing in their heart, and they know that their child is one time later on going to come back. But a teacher, he puts so much effort in for 5-6 years, and sometimes they doubt that maybe this kid is going to forget about me. But I want them to know that we'll never ever forget about you, and you're definitely going to be the backbone of our life. And I'd like to thank every single person who helped us go through this. Even the students, especially the students. I feel like without each other's support, we couldn't do anything. There are certain students that really, really help each other, and that's what makes us go through everything. There's students that teach you how to. Every student has a different quality that we learn from each other, and Obviously, I have to thank my family. They've done so much. They don't even tell us so much that what they do for us. So much of the things that they do is they just hide it and they act like everything is normal. And they just keep on giving us. Special thanks to my mom. She's done so much for me. And my dad and my sisters. It's just indescribable. And especially my classmates. Such an amazing journey. Alhamdulillah, honestly, overall my journey was very simple, very easy. Everyone is saying it's hard. At the moments of hardship, it always seemed very hard. But alhamdulillah, I was able to find, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided us through solutions to every problem. And overall, it was very, very fun. Coming over here from the beginning, we used to just have so much fun learning Deen. And alhamdulillah, throughout my whole journey, I was able to, to a certain extent, recognize that it was a blessing. My senior student who also graduated last year, Jawad, he helped me a lot. He would tell me that don't ever think, always remind yourself that you don't have to do this, but you're getting to do this. And every morning I'll remind myself that, I just remind myself in the morning that I really don't deserve anything. If it was for my decisions, I feel like I'm on like a raft, and wherever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take me to the best place, alhamdulillah, I'm going. Other than that, no virtues is for us. And each and every single teacher is a gem. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them more tawfiq to keep doing what they're doing. And I just feel bad, I cannot thank them enough. And I hope we're able to satisfy them when they see us in the future, inshallah. And definitely thanks to all my family members, especially. So many years we weren't even there. But alhamdulillah, what we learn from here, we spend a lot of time over here and not with our families. But that what we learn from here in the aspect of how to deal with our families is going to make that little time that we have with them so much more valuable. Because they taught us akhlaq. They didn't just teach us, technical problems and academic things. They taught us how to be happy in the world, how to spread positivity in the world, how to have a great life, And alhamdulillah, every time I go home, I have a new experience with my siblings, I have a new experience with my family members, I have a new experience with my friends. And I'm trying my best to implement what they teach us. And it's a really great experience. Alhamdulillah, so blessed to be in this path. I hope Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala really gives us understanding of this ni'mah that we have, so that we will be able to value it just as much. Alhamdulillah, from the goals that we used to have of dunya and thinking that's such a great life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changed the goals, and it's so good to have. We're satisfied to have a simple life with a strong, connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with a strong connection with our teachers, with the love of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And included in the love of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the love of our teachers, because they're our connection to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What a connection we have with our teachers. They're simple men, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose them to be our means in the connection to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Just a short story. I remember when I first came from school. Obviously, I only spent 9th grade, and even I was in madrasa and hifz before that. We never ever used to tell teachers, tell on each other, or else you would be called a snitch. That was the last thing you would do. Just tell teachers anything. It was always like they're your enemies, and everywhere else. But over here, one of the first few days I came, first thing, Moshe Mas picked me up from the airport himself with one of my seniors, Mufti Rafi. And we came, and just, I don't know, this story really hits me because I've never seen such a relationship with student and teacher. It's probably similar to you guys, but to me it's very deep. We had a water fight when the teacher was gone, and it was very intense. Half of the things in the bathrooms are missing in the next few days. But alhamdulillah, it stopped because things got kind of intense and one broke a door. I think it was the bear. So then that's when everyone dispersed. And now we're like, oh, the teacher's gonna get really upset, it's over. No one's saying anything. So the first thing that happened was I was staying in Rafiq's room and Moshe Mas came in, I don't know if he remembers. He came in and he asked what happened. And I was like, oh, it's over, And the first thing Rafiq said, he said, honestly, I started the whole thing. It was completely my fault. And mashallah, I just started laughing, you know? I was like, what a teacher and student relationship. Is this even a teacher? Meaning all he wanted is just good for us, you know? There was no enmity between the two. And Rafiq knew that, Mufti Rafiq knew that he only wanted good for me, you know? And since then, alhamdulillah, I've never ever thought about lying to the teacher. I always told them flat out truth. Even if they get upset, I would know that they're doing it for my good. And from then, my heart was content, you know? These teachers are really looking out for us, you know? Nasifan for us. And nasifan, I mean, very truthful. So alhamdulillah, it's been a great journey. Definitely, inshallah, whoever sacrificed, so many people sacrificed, people who are not even here in this world, that we don't even know. People in this world that we forget, you know, such as our HIFZ teachers. Hafiz Shakil is one of them. And people behind the scenes we don't even know. So many people are donating and taking care of the madrasa. It's a blessing to be in this path. You know, it's a blessing for us. It's not that we're doing anything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is definitely using us. We're not going to recognize right now, but we're definitely going to recognize in the year after. So it's the best life because we know it's for the best purpose. We know it's for the best ending. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I didn't prepare anything, honestly. I didn't know I spoke that long. So alhamdulillah, jazakumullah khair. Jazakumullah khair for coming. My grandmother came also, she's very old. And my sisters, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them a great life, an easy life, a blessed life. And my mom especially, can never thank her enough. Jazakumullah khair. Ameen. Jazakumullah khair. Ikramah. Inshallah. As I mentioned, many of us know his father-in-law, so is hearing this as well, mashallah. And Ikramah is a spitting image, mashallah, of his father. You see Sahel in him, mashallah. And Ikramah, when he came, he was the baby of the madrasa. Because he was so young, as you mentioned, he was only in 9th grade. He was just 15, 16 years old. He came, he didn't even have a beard. And the other day we were just going through some old photos and we see Ikramah without a beard and he's just sitting there. And now, mashallah, he's an adult and he's ready to move on to the next chapter of his life. And we ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala aids and assists him and blesses him and his family and all of his classmates and everyone here. Ameen. Next, inshallah, we'll call somebody who is a friend to the entire madrasa. He is the confidant of the entire madrasa. Anyone who wants to entrust anything, they go to this individual, and that is Hanzala. So I'll call upon Hanzala, inshallah, to come and share a few words with us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Hanzala. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Canton, Michigan, sorry. First and foremost, jazakallah khair to everybody for coming and being part of a memory that I will forever and ever cherish, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all. And I just wanted to give a shout out to King Hamza, my brother, Isa, my brother. I love you guys so much. And Mufti Abdurrahman, I didn't know he was coming until recently. And it's honestly so crazy that Mufti Abdurrahman and his brother, Muhammad Abdul Aziz, they were the catalyst that really led to me standing here today. After my second year of college, I just spent like 1 year to go with them. I was just like, I just had time. So me and my brother, we were just like, let's go, spend some time. And so we spent 14 days with Rahman and the company, his blessed company, his brothers, all of them. And subhanAllah, it's so fitting. I'm honestly so honored. Alhamdulillah. And only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows how much they've done for me. And to have him be here to watch me graduating, or to watch me leaving Indiana, it's so insane. Alhamdulillah. And so I want to say that everything that's happening is so surreal. We came here with the intention of learning knowledge. We didn't care who would be in our class. We had no idea. Nobody was friends from before. Or 9 of us at that time. It was more than just us. Nobody knew each other. All we knew is that we just wanted to study, and that's it. We didn't know much about our teachers either. Maybe their names and just the fact that they graduated from this or this madrasa.
That's about it, and whatever we heard from other people. We didn't know them personally at all. Never knew how they even looked like, what we stepped in. And subhanAllah, like 5 years later, like it's cutting all of our hearts, just standing here saying salam to our teachers. And I want to just express my gratitude to the teachers, students, and parents, and my parents, and inshallah, lastly, I want to impart some advice. So first and foremost, my parents. If it wasn't for your continued support and unconditional love for me, I wouldn't be standing here today. 5 years ago where I was, and here I am now, the result of your du'as just manifested in front of you. My mom, my mother, and how much she worried. My father for staying strong for all of us and crying in silence. You know, like every time I left home, he would hug me and he would only cry when he turned away from me. I knew. And my mother, who suppressed all of her emotions to allow me to pursue these studies, who sacrificed her own happiness and comfort to send me and to trust these teachers to pass on to me the blessed inheritance of the Prophet. And my baby sister, who did not miss a single day, except that she asked me what I ate that day, every single day, every day. And that's it. Aya, what did you eat today? Okay, talk to mama. That's it. My middle sister, who always lifted my spirits, even though she never knew I was down, whenever I was down. And the oldest of my sisters, who always checked in and engaged in awesome conversations every time. My brother, many of you know him, who always supported me. He may think of it as insignificant, but he never shied away from introducing me to his friends as his brother, who studies out of course. And this is Hamza, he studies out of course in Indiana. He was always so proud of it. I love all of you guys, and this is for all of us. The teachers, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows how much we love you. Only Allah. We blindly trusted you. And let me tell you, on behalf of everyone, you fulfilled our rights. Don't ever say that you never did that. And you guys went above and beyond. I had not a single complaint, not a single one. You guys, with our youthful ages in hand, you granted us the best 5 years of our lives, no doubt. Mon Dawood, Mon Saigon, Mon Ali, Mon Arsalan, Mon Umar, Hafizah, for always taking care of us and putting up with us, always taking some time out to spend some time with us, even though they never taught us as much as the other teachers. We appreciate that, all of us. Mufti Yasir for teaching us so many things, and the thing that benefited most from was Aqidah, really uplifted my iman. And he's an invaluable asset to not only this madrasa, but to the entire ummah. Mulana Imam, best teacher I've ever had, not a shred of doubt. Always there to impart wisdom regarding life, love, and laughter. Always was the most patient individual. Mulana Shamas, the most truly humble guy I've ever met. The teacher who was always there for us to rant to pour out our emotions to an absolute heart of gold. Always there for the students, with the students, basketball court, football field, everything. He's the embodiment of the Prophet ﷺ's character. I'm honored to say that. Everybody thought and thinks that they're the closest person to him, as Qasim Tala also said earlier. He treats every single person with such love, such respect, such value. We all feel so important. We feel like we matter. Mohan Sir, most humble guy ever. You'll never catch him. Not even here today. Never gonna catch him. Always behind the scenes. Always. Always behind the scenes. He made the most amazing food that made us feel at home. And he made our studying so much more easy. It's never hard for us. Food was never a problem. Alhamdulillah. Dr. Bilal. It was that we know what you do for us. And this madrasa, even if we don't show it. Even if we don't get the chance to show you as often, we acknowledge everything that you and your family do for us. You treat us with such respect that we aren't worthy of. You address us in such a beautiful manner that we're like, who are you talking to? We all love you so very much, more rare. I don't even know where to begin. I could start from how we would come to the dorms at 1 a.m. and would come every single hour, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. until Fajr, just to make sure things were okay. I can start from how we made us feel at home. And you would test us asking, is there anything I can do for you? Is there anything that you want, anything that you need? Are you uncomfortable in any manner? Is your room okay? Is everything okay? I can start from how we spent countless hours telling us what kind of a son to be, what kind of brothers we should be, and when the time comes, inshallah, what type of husbands and fathers we should be. I can say all of these things and so much more. The summary of all of this is that we love you. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can reward each one of these teachers. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And jazakallah khair to their families as well. Without their sacrifices, we acknowledge that we couldn't move any forward. After meeting my teachers, I understood, like we always say, it's better than the dunya and whatever it contains. After meeting these teachers, I understood what it means to love something and value something and prefer that thing more than this world or whatever it contains. I wouldn't trade a single experience that I had in my 5 years of madrasa for whatever this world has, honestly. And from the bottom of our hearts, entire class, just please forgive us all. We know we have shortcomings, and even if you say we didn't. The students, my boys, my brothers, fourth year guys, get ready to hold the reins. Sama, Mishal, Ahmed, Ameen, Nasir, Talha, all of you guys. You guys have been through so much, and we all know that. Hamza. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you guys so much for the sacrifice you've been through. We've been with you guys the longest amount of time. And we cherish you guys so much, even though we fall short of showing it to you guys. We love you guys. Third year guys, you guys are the most positive class. No doubt about it. You guys lift up other students' spirits and the teacher's spirits as well. And that is why everybody stays happy around you guys, to feel internally happy. That's you guys. Second year, always know that this is a journey. And you guys are family. If family isn't together, then the journey will be that much harder. Stay together. Look past differences and stay an amazing, beautiful family that you guys are. First year boys, you guys were a breath of fresh air. Honestly, every single one of you guys. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep you guys together and may your positivity stay radiant. Almost done, guys, I'm sorry. And just know one thing just a general advice that just always know that the grass is always greener on the other side. But what we're doing here is incomparable. Know that. If you have to convince yourself, then convince yourself of that and believe it. Hold on to that. And lastly, my classmates, I love you guys, man. We were joking around in class, like, they were like, who's gonna cry? And we're all pointing to each other. And teachers came in, every single one of us crying. And then right after that, we're all laughing, like, you cried first, you guys cried first. And the next teacher came in, and we just finished crying, threw all of our tissues away. Next teacher came in, and he started talking again, and we all started crying again. And then the same thing right after, you guys cried first, you guys are soft, all this stuff. My day one, we shared many amazing memories together. And we cherished all of those. Abdullah Hard, always there for me, always there to hear me rant, and always provided a shoulder for me to cry on. Zubair, my guy who sat next to me for all these years, annoying me and getting on my nerves. That ain't even a joke. I remember that, man. Yusuf, my Raja partner, and the soul of our class. We love you, man. Talha, I know you so much, man, and I know that. But I always considered you to be one of the closest guys to me. And inshallah, we never ever bring this up again. Safir Rahman, I would cherish our memories in our Muraja sessions. Not much Muraja happened, but we had a great time. And I loved every single conversation I had with you. Thank you, Mom. Your jolliness and happiness always kept us happy and alive. Others, your wisdom and foresight is second to none. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you him from his him and rain from his rain. Please forgive me, my classmates. I was in a mere by name, but I don't ever want to be questioned about it. So please forgive me. And I love you guys so much. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Inshallah. Next, We're almost done. We just have 2 more left, inshallah. I'll call upon Khalid, Shahzad, inshallah, share a few words. Hopefully this time, inshallah, he's mustered up the courage to say a few words, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I don't know where to begin. Nothing is prepared, but inshallah, I'll say whatever is in my heart. All the graduations that I've attended, students are celebrating, parents are cheering, and it's a very happy moment. But I never expected that this graduation, leaving this place, it would be a moment of sadness rather than happiness. Firaq, leaving your beloved ones, is something which is never a happy moment. The other day we were sitting in class and it was our last dars, and Mana Shemaz was on the last page reading some fiqh masala. And that's not something to get emotional about. But just as I was seeing him go down the ibarah, down the text, and coming to the last part of the book, tears were going down our eyes. Same with Mona Numair. He came in class, he started giving us a small talk. And that realization was coming in the heart that this majlis, this gathering, all of us being together in one place, it will never take place again like this. And these enlightened and nurani faces, I will never ever get to see them the way we're sitting together and witness it like this. This path, I remember the first day when I walked into madrasa, I think Yasir, he's here with us. He was there to welcome me. It was around midnight. And I came into madrasa not knowing anything about where I'm going, what I'm about to learn, what this place is like. All I knew was the name that it's a madrasa where scholars study. And I came with like a dress t-shirt and dress pants, right, with like a suitcase. No idea where I was. Nothing. And from there the journey began. And before this journey even began, I want to thank first of all Sheikh Muhammad Sulfrata, who's not even here today, the person behind the scenes, who, when I was in public school, in high school, far away from deen, far away from what is akhlaq and adab, and what is iman and yaqeen, he had that love and that patience and that care for me that he would take me out in the path of Allah. And eventually, over a period of 4 years, he was able to convince me to start this journey. And he's not even here today. And these are the sincere people behind this deen that we don't even see or we don't even know about, but this deen has reached us today because of them. Remember, this majalis that you're seeing, behind me standing here are tears and tears, are du'as and du'as. And I don't know whose du'as, because of whose ikhlas I'm standing here today. Imam Shafi, like he says, كيف الوصول إلى سعاد ودونهن قلل الجبال ودونها قلل الجبال ودونهن حتوف. That the path to Allah Azza wa Jal is full of obstacles. It's mountains and mountains you have to climb in order to get to the end. Though the sacrifice in this country for us students, it may not be as physical, the heat and the air conditioning and the electricity may not be a problem. But the wars and the battles which go within our hearts, which no eye can witness, only us and Allah know about it. Right? Only Allah and us know about those battles. And whenever ayat came down to console Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, they were not ayat consoling him about the physical pain he went through.
There were ayat consoling him about the internal pain he endured for the sake of Allah. وَلَقَدْ نَعْلَمُ أَنَّكَ يَضِيقُ صَدْرُكَ بِمَا يَفْعَلُونَ لَا بِمَا يَقُولُونَ. The pain that he would endure because of what the kuffar and the mushrikeen would say. So this path is a path of sacrifice. And I thank Allah Azza wa Jal that He gave us the ability to bear those sacrifices. I want to thank my parents. I want to thank my mother, first of all. I remember the first day when I was leaving my house, she was begging me not to go because she didn't know where I was going. There's no ulama in my family. I was like the first hafiz from my entire family. So every time I would call my mother, she was like, "Tum to musafiri ban gaye. You become a traveler. Every time you come home, it's for like a few weeks, a few days, then you're back." Even though my dad, he may not show it, but I know my mother would tell me that your father, he was just remembering you, he was crying. Fathers don't show, but trust me, the love that they have, no one can imagine. And I want to thank my brother. I was the oldest in my family, taking care of my siblings, being there for my parents. But after I left, he became the right hand, the right arm for my parents, being there for every moment, every time they needed them. So I really want to thank my brother for that. Really, I envy my brother because he was there for the khidmat of my parents. And the khidmah of parents is something which nothing can replace it. No ibadah can replace it. And I want to thank my sisters for always cheering me up whenever I would call them. My baby sister, whenever I would call her, always asking me questions which would just make my day. Right? I would just call just to hear her voice. Right? So, and my teachers as well. Especially I want to mention Mom Amir. You know, like a mother, she notices when her child is going through something, though he may not mention something. माँ को पता लग जाता है कि जब बच्चा उदास होता है, पूरे मजमे में बच्चा उदास हो, माँ पहचान जाती है कि मेरे बच्चे को किसी चीज की जरूरत है. Like that, Mom Amir, he would notice whenever I was going through something, though I would hide it and I would hide my emotions, he would always realize and come to me. And in the days of sicknesses, when I was going through severe sickness or fever or cold, he would bring fruits for me, bring soup for me. And similarly with Mana Shamaz, in the midst of storms, right, in the midst of struggle and trying times, he would know how to cheer me up and put a smile on my face. And from this teacher, I learned just how to be yourself. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to relax and take a step back. Just take a deep breath. And I can go on about all my teachers. Right? Each one of them, I cannot describe. My words cannot encompass the qualities that they have taught me and given me. And the students as well. If one advice I can leave for the students regarding this path, because it is a path of sacrifices and difficulties, is that learn al-inabatu ilallah. Al-inabatu ilallah, turning back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a way, in a manner, in such a kayfiyah and a condition of heart that, Ya Allah, nothing can help me at this moment. You are my only hope. So Ya Allah, help me. That in Surah Al-An'am, where Allah describes the mushrikun, when they were in the midst of the ocean and the waves were surrounding them, Allah says, Da'awu Allah mukhlisina lahu-d-din. That even when the mushrikeen, though they would carry idols with them wherever they would travel, but at that moment they realized that these idols cannot even help us. And they would turn to Allah and they would call upon Allah. And Allah says, فَلَمَّا نَجَّاهُمْ إِلَى الْبَرِّ. That Allah would take them and save the mushrikun because they had ikhlas and true inaba to Allah in those difficult times. So my dear students and everyone in general, learn al-inabatu ilallah because you will need it. And my dear elders and all the parents that are here, wallahi, this is a gathering which Allah is proud of and he's mentioning all of your names up in the angels. Allah is so proud of you. The sacrifice that you have made in this day and age, not many parents are making it. Really, not many parents are making it. The Sahaba, their mothers, they left them to go in the path of Allah, knowing our children will never come back. Right? But today, these mothers, I can say, are equivalent to those. Really. And remember, Deen always flourishes because of sacrifice. This majma is here because of sacrifice. Qurbani is ummat ki mizat hai. इस उम्मत को इम्तियाज अगर है तमाम उम्मतों पे तो ये अल्लाह के दीन के लिए कुर्बानी की वजह से है। तो हम अल्लाह के लिए जितना कुर्बान करेंगे अल्लाह उतना हमें इस दुनिया में और आखिरत में भी नवाजेगा। मैं अल्लाह से दुआ करता हूँ कि अल्लाह हम सबको अपने दीन के लिए कबूल फरमाएं और इन माँ बाप की कुर्बानियों को और इन माँ उनके आंसुओं को उनकी दुआओं को कबूल फरमाएं और अल्लाह इस मदरसे को और इसके तमाम असातिज़ा को और जितने भी लोग इसको सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं अल्लाह ताला उन सबको कबूल फरमाएं और उनकी जिंदगियों को खैर और आफियत और बरकत से भरे। आमीन। जज़ाकुमुल्लाह खैर। अहसन जज़ा।
Takbir. MashaAllah, our Harith Shahzad, as Hamza described him, he's Hakeem. He is very young, not even just in his early 20s, 22, 20, how old are you? 24. And he speaks like, mashallah, he's 44. Mashallah, such wisdom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him. And we ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows the entire ummah to benefit from his wisdom, from his words, from his beautiful recitation, and his akhlaq. And last, but definitely not least, call upon Abdullah Hars of Des Plaines, Illinois. Or should I say Chicago? Chicago, sorry. I'll just say Chicago. He's already asking me for the tissue box, mashallah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya'i wal Mursaleen. Amma ba'd. 5 years have gone by since I started this journey, and I had many days to think about what to write, weeks, since I was thinking about it. But I couldn't jot down just one thing. There's so many things that I want to say, so many people I want to appreciate, but I have nothing on my paper. I just have a small list of people that I'd like to appreciate. And there are many more. And if I forget anyone, then surely I will, then please forgive me. Firstly and foremost, I'd like to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving me and the rest of my beautiful classmates the tawfiq to be here. Not just start this journey, but to see through it all the way till the end in this branch. Had you asked me last year what was my greatest accomplishment, I wouldn't have been able to tell you anything. I feel like I've never accomplished anything in my life in a sense where I can be confident about it and say, yes, I did this or I did that. I completely and utterly felt like a failure. And one day these thoughts got to me so much that I couldn't take it anymore. So I called one of my teachers and I said that this is how I'm feeling. I feel like a failure. And madrasa students, they know
that I have some health problems and how that's held me back from my studies quite a bit. That was the main reason why I felt like a failure. That I look at the istiadat and the preparation of the rest of my classmates, and I see where I am, and the only thing I can do is just look up and see it and barely see them. They're so far ahead, so far up. So I told him that I feel like a failure. He asked me, how old are you? At that time, I believe I was 22, so I said, I'm 22. And he said, don't you realize that your greatest accomplishment so far is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed you to be here for 4 years, and the fact that you're still here. That changed my mind completely. And you see in different madaris and even in our own, you have very intelligent students, very amazing students in all different aspects. But by the time when you see when it's time to reach the finish line, many of them are not there. Our class, especially, we started off with 15 or 16 students in first year, and now we're 9. It's not that they were dumb or anything, just Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had different plans for them somewhere else. He was taking the effort of deen from them in another place. So me being here and last year getting that advice from my teacher really allowed me to have some peace and feel that I'm not a complete failure, that I have something going for me, and that motivated me to stay. I can't tell you how many times I wanted to leave. Day in and day out, suffering physically, suffering mentally. My classmates know, my roommate of 5 years, Talha, he knows how much I suffered. It was not easy for me, as it was not easy for many other people for different trials as well, and that they had in different tests. But I tried to push through. I would feel many times I wouldn't be able to come to class. I wouldn't be able to come to Muraja or Mutala or any of the other sessions. My classmates, they always supported me. Talha always did my khidmat. He always supported me. The teachers never made me feel like I was dumb. I missed so many days of class, so many. I fell behind in so many durus, but they never made me feel dumb. One of them would still ask me to read the Ibadah, would still ask me the same big questions or any other question that he would ask the top students, as if I would know the answer. Although I didn't know the answer most of the time, sometimes I did. I felt so honored. Then he still has this hope in me, even someone like me. All I ever wanted, it was to make all of my teachers proud. And I feel like I didn't get the opportunity to do so because of my own issues. That's one huge regret that I have. Now in 5th year, in our midterm exams, well, let me backtrack a little. Usually every year when midterms or finals come around, I try to start my exam prep a month prior, because I miss so many classes that I need that extra time, and I grind as hard as I can. I work really hard day in and day out with multiple people, sometimes one person if they're willing to start that early. Sometimes multiple people, like 5 different people, one person for every book at different times, whatever I could, just to try to make up. The Amir is the one who gave me that hope, that although you miss Muraja, you miss Mutala, you miss classes, this is your time. Exam prep time is your time to catch up on everything that you've missed. And mashallah, the rest of my classmates who are much smarter, much more brighter than me, who strived much harder than I did. They didn't need to start from so long ago. They would just start maybe, whenever the madrasa would start the exam prep. And I never had hope that I would ever beat any of my classmates or get, first place, second place, or third place, because I know my istiadat, I know my preparation, and it's nowhere even near the preparation of my classmates. And while we're sitting in 5th year after midterms, Mullah Shamas is telling us our results. And he's saying that, do you know who got first place in my exam? And he's about to point at someone in the room completely opposite of my direction. I said, of course. How could I even hope to get first, second, third, even in one exam? I've never been able to do so in all my 5 years. And while Shimas quickly points that finger at me, says Abdullah Harris got first place in his exam. And I was so happy. I wasn't happy at my score. I wasn't happy that I did better than the rest of my classmates in one exam finally after 5 years. I was happy because I felt that maybe this would be the reason that Shimas would be proud of me. Because that's all I wanted from him. At least once in my life here in Madrasa, that I can make one teacher proud by them looking at my score. Seeing the highest score, that they would just be happy with me and smile at me and say, Abdullah, I'm proud of you. And it's not just Shimas. He always tells me all the time that I'm proud of you. Doesn't matter how low I scored in all the other years. I said, Abdullah, I'm proud of you. You got a 70, I'm proud of you. You got an 80, I'm proud of you. You placed 9 out of 10 students, I'm proud of you. All my teachers have always been supportive of me, Alhamdulillah. They've showed me that they have hope in me. They've showed me that they're proud of me, and I could have no greater honor than that. Maulana Ali, when you came back to teach in this madrasa, I tried hard to attend all the classes that I could, attend all the Muraja sessions, attend all the Mutala sessions. And that pain caught up to me that I couldn't sit anymore. So I went back into bed rest, laying down, missing classes, missing all these sessions. But before I started missing the sessions, Maulana Ali texted me on August 19th, 2019. And why do I even remember that date? Why do I remember that message? Because it meant the world to me. First, he starts by calling me Abdullah Bhai. And he says that, I'm proud of you for working so hard. He knows also that I struggled, tried to come for classes. He's still supporting me. And he was proud of me. And then again, that's all I ever wanted. I just want the teachers to be proud of me. If I make my teachers happy, then inshallah I make Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam happy. I make Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala happy. And he always showed that he was proud of me. He was happy for my progress. He was happy for me trying so hard. And I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Maulana Ali. Thank you, Maulana Shimas, for always being there for me. Thank you, Maulana Umar, for always pushing me forward, even when I thought that you were being mean to me. Even when I thought that you were being unfair, I realize now that it was all for my betterment. Also that you can see me grow. And you talked to me just a few days ago about future plans. And I was just so taken aback that I couldn't even say a word back to you. I couldn't give you my thoughts, my plans. I was in utter shock, and I thought that if I were going to utter even one word, I was gonna cry. And I was just not in the mood for crying at that time. I was already in my feels. And so I didn't say a word, and I told him it's because I was so shocked that somebody like me, you have hopes in someone like me, someone so incapable, someone who's definitely in the lowest tier of his class, if not the lowest person. To think that you of all people, such a great person, my idol, my role model, that's hopes for me. It took my breath away. I couldn't say a single word. Maulana Sulaiman, when I was struggling a lot, obviously the halfway point is very tough when you get into like second year and third year. And then I wasn't going to spend 40 days after the third year. I just planned on staying home. But I was put into your Jamaat. You treated me with so much love, so much respect. As if I was such a smart student. You would tell my juniors who are with me in that Jamaat to come ask me questions. It would make me feel as if I was someone valuable. And I've never forgotten that, the confidence that you gave me that summer. I was able to get through fourth year because of those 40 days, those blessed 40 days that I spent with you. And I really thank you and I appreciate you for that. Maulana Imran, when I look into your eyes, all I see is compassion. All I see is love. And I've seen it since day one. It doesn't matter what anyone else says. It doesn't matter what anyone else says. I know that you're full of love. When I looked at you since day one, and this is no lie, no exaggeration, I thought of my father. And me being the youngest of my family, I get a lot of love from all of my family members, especially my parents. And the same way that my father looks at me with compassion, I see the same look in Maulana Imran's eyes, whether it's directed towards me or not. Whenever I saw him, I would be at peace and I would smile. It's the same thing with Dr. Bilal. Although I've had very limited interactions with you, every time I see you, I can't help but smile. I can't help but laugh. I can't help but feel warm. You're such an amazing person. And everyone, mashallah, all of my classmates, they've said so many great things about all of our benefactors, including the teachers and Dr. Bilal, that I don't want to repeat all of that. But I do want to say that you mean the world to us, to me, this madrasa. We wouldn't survive without you. Maulana Sawar, as everyone mentioned, is literally, without him, I don't know if this madrasa would run. It's very difficult to study and worry about food. Today I'm gonna get dal that's 90% water, so much so that I can do wudu with it. Right? It's very tough, but the best of the best food, steak, and different salads, biryani, American food, lasagna, Chinese food, everything, you name it. My mom always tells me that enjoy your last meals over here because you're not gonna find this anywhere, not even at home. And it's true. I don't find this food anywhere. Twice a day, amazing, different dishes. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives Maulana Sawar the rewards of every single student here. Every student that has passed and taken even one bite of his food, because we were fueled and we got the energy simply because of his food. Alhamdulillah. Maulana Umar, although he's not here physically, I hope that you're online and you're attending the YouTube live. It was a great 4 years with you. You taught us so well, and you had such tolerance for us, although we used to do things that would typically get on people's nerves. But you still looked past that, and you showed us love. You taught us well. Maulana Arsalan is my friend, my teacher, the madrasa, not only mine, the madrasa's counselor, a psychologist, if you will. I think that Maulana Arsalan is like a brother to me. I feel no different, actually. When I think about my brother, I think that yes, Maulana Arsalan is there. As my classmate Talha mentioned, that he is a type of individual where he will call you, like if you need help, he will help you at any time. And he won't stop you like, oh, Beta, it's getting late. It's 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. No, he'll let you finish all the way until you've poured your heart out and he's giving you a solution. Maulana Dawood, you are honestly so very cool. Everyone looks at you and they see that he has good fashion. He's always looking fresh. He's smart. He's elegant, if you will. So professional, mashallah. Truly a role model for us in the madrasa, as you are a graduate from this branch as well. We truly look up to you, and we think that we want to be like you. Hafiz Shakil, Jazakallah khair for all the love that you've shown us. You were also like a father figure. You took care of us. You called us to your house so many times, invited us for tea, made sure we had food, even. Although Moana sir would cook the best food, he'd still bring us something. Like I had some food, I made some food for you guys, all completely out of love. So we appreciate that as well. And my classmates, I want to thank the two people that helped me get through this tough journey. And that's Atif and that's Talha. Talha, my roommate of 5 years, mashallah. And literally, when they teach us assigned rooms every year, they try to change the students up, give them a new flavor. I fought for Talha, that no, I need him. He takes care of me, and he tolerates me. He has so much tahammul. He's patient with me, and I honestly don't think that anyone else could be patient with me like that. If they were to live with me in, with the condition that I had, they would probably get sick and tired of me and want to room change and everything, but he stuck with me for 5 years. And he would go up to the teacher and say, I don't want to be anyone else's roommate, just Abdullah Harris. If I have him, you can put 5 other guys in my room. The rest of my classmates, you guys are so dear to me. And in the beginning years, I wasn't able to spend as much time with you guys. First year, second year, third year, due to physical problems, and I wasn't able to make myself strong enough mentally to overcome my problems, to push myself to class. But alhamdulillah, with the help of the teachers and many others, I was able to push myself more than ever in 4th year and 5th year. And I'm so glad that I did that, because I have no regrets now. I got to bond with each and every one of you. I have a special connection. You guys are my brothers, irreplaceable. And I'm so thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing me to be your classmate, for giving me the honor of being your classmate and studying with all of you stars. And lastly, for everyone that I didn't mention, please forgive me, but there's so many people that I need to appreciate. And no amount of appreciation that I say, even if I had a few hours, I wouldn't be able to complete it. I wouldn't be able to fulfill their rights. It's just too much. It's too much. But I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept all of us. And for the younger students, aside from the beautiful advices, and I'll end with this inshallah, aside from the beautiful advices that the rest of my classmates gave, one thing that I'd like to add on is that everyone, please be a lover. Love your mother, love your father, love your brothers, love your husband, love your wives, love your kids, love your classmates, love the teachers, love the idara which you're studying in. Love everyone. More than anything that I've learned here, with the little ilm that I, Alhamdulillah, God, with the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even above that, all the books. What I learned was how to be, like Noman said, a human being. What I learned was good akhlaq. What I learned was how to be a lover. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us true lovers, lovers of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and lovers of him subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. Jazakallah khair, and please forgive me, everyone, for everything that I've done. I know I'm a little bit of a rough person, but thank you for tolerating me, and I hope you find it in your heart to forgive me. Jazakallah khair.
Takbir. Takbir. Takbir.
Jazakumullah khair, Abdullah Harris. And Those are, mashallah, our speeches by all of our graduates. One more takbir. Takbir. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses them as guiding lights for this ummah, for the entire world, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses their parents for their sacrifice, for sending them here for all this time. The asatiza, everybody, as we mentioned, you hear every student mentioning Muasawar, he's not even here today, he's busy preparing food for them and their families, mashallah, and he himself is not here. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses him and his family and all the asatiza. We also ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless Al-Haq Foundation, Imam Muhammad, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevate his ranks, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him the status he deserves, for he truly is so welcoming each and every single time we come. He opens his arms up to us. And he said when we came and we asked him, he didn't even hesitate. I called him, I said, Imam, we were wondering if we could use the masjid, because as you know, Masjid al-Nur is where these students, they study, but due to the space and the COVID issues, we asked Imam Muhammad if he could give us the masjid. And I just called him, I said, Imam, would it be possible for us to use your masjid? We have an event. He said, Bismillah, Shaykh, the masjid is yours. He didn't even let me finish. He said, the masjid is yours. Al-masjidu masjidukum. This is your masjid. Why are you even asking me? So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless him for his hospitality and for opening his doors to us. And Allah opens the doors for those for him and his family in this community. Ameen. And this is what it's all about, brothers and sisters. This is what it's all about. The Muslims having each other's backs through thick and thin. When in a time of need, someone steps up, that is when you truly understand who is with you and who is against you. And with that, inshallah, we will now present the plaques. We were supposed to pray Asr at 6. Imam Muhammad, he was nice enough to allow us to delay Asr a little bit today. We're going to present the plaques, and for that, I'm going to ask Mawlana Sohail to come up, and also Imam Muhammad as well, to come up and present the plaques to the students. I will read their names, and the students will come up and they will receive their plaques, and let us all make a dua as each student receives the plaque, that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them and their families and use them as a means of hidayah for all of mankind. So I'm going to call the student's name in no particular order. This is just the way that we got them sent, and each and every single student is near and dear. No one is first, second, third. Each and every single one is important. And at the top we have Ikrama Tali, mashallah. Takbir. Takbir. Next we have Abdullah Haris. Takbir. Takbir. Next we have Muhammad Talha. Takbir. Takbir. Yusuf Nur al-Islam. Takbir. Takbir. Nu'man Musrih al-Din. Takbir. Takbir. Zubayr Rahim. Takbir. Takbir. Safiur Rahman. Takbir. Takbir. Hanzala Zaidi. Takbir. Takbir. Harith Shehzad. Takbir. Takbir. And with that, we will, inshallah, close up with a dua, inshallah. We thank everybody who came from far and wide to attend. We hope that nobody's offended that we didn't really publicize this that much because of COVID and everything that's going on. We didn't want large numbers, to respect the safety of our families. And we have guests from Ohio, from New York, from all over. And we thank each and every single one of you for coming. And hopefully next year, inshallah, we can have a gathering with full numbers, inshallah. And we hope to see everybody again. Jazakumullah to all the staff, Jazakumullah to all of our teachers, the faculty, everyone who had any part of this, even no matter how small it may seem, it is a big part. It is a big part because really an ocean is nothing with all the droplets that it contains. So each and every single bit together, as the Prophet ﷺ said, we are one body, we are one ummah, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to always allow us to remember that sentiment. And with that, we'll ask Mawlana Sahil to close with a dua, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulil Kareem. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi adada khalqihi wa rida nafsihi wa zinata arshi wa midada kalimatihi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا واجعلنا سببا لمن اهتدى. اللهم إنا نسألك من خير ما سألك منه نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ونعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذك منه نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. أنت المستعان وعليك البلاغ ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وسلم تسليما. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين آمين آمين.